Welcome back to MMA Rewind, your home for the sharpest fight breakdowns, the latest drama, and all things UFC. Today, we're diving deep into the UFC 315 co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. This is a true crossroads fight for the women's flyweight division, and there's a lot more at stake than just the belt. By the end of this video, you'll know why this matchup is so intriguing, what each fighter brings to the table, and most importantly, the secret weapon that could decide the outcome on Saturday night. Before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a post-fight reaction, deep dive analysis, or breaking news. We're here after every major UFC event, bringing you the stories and angles that other channels miss. Let's set the stage. For the first time in her UFC title run, Valentina Shevchenko is entering as the betting underdog. That's right after years of dominance, 7 straight title defenses, and a legacy as one of the greatest female fighters ever. Shevchenko is being doubted by oddsmakers and fans alike. She's coming off a tough trilogy with Alexa Grasso losing her belt, fighting to a draw, and then narrowly reclaiming it. At 37, critics are starting to whisper, is the bullet slowing down? But let's not forget who we're talking about. Shevchenko's resume is stacked. 24 wins, only 4 losses, and a fighting IQ that's second to none. She's a 17-time world champion in multiple disciplines, and her Muay Thai, kickboxing, and MMA experience is unmatched in this division. She's faced the best, beaten the best, and reinvented herself every time people counted her out. Enter Manon Fiorot, the surging French contender with a 12-1 record and a perfect run in the UFC. Fiorot's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. She's dispatched top contenders like Rose Namajunas and Erin Blanchfield, using her karate-based striking and relentless pressure. Fiorot's confidence is sky-high. She's been vocal in interviews, saying, "My past 3 fights have been total domination in comparison to her, who's had closer and tougher fights." That's not just confidence, that's a direct shot at the champion. Shevchenko, for her part, isn't biting. She told the media this week, "My biggest ability is to block what's happening all around and focus on the main goal." That's classic Valentina unshakable, laser-focused, and ready to prove doubters wrong. So why are the odds against Shevchenko? Recency bias. People remember her struggles with Grasso and see Fiorot's dominant performances. But here's what most are missing, and what I believe is Shevchenko's secret weapon for Saturday night. Everyone expects a striking chess match. Both women are elite on the feet, Fiorot with her karate and kickboxing, Shevchenko with her Muay Thai and surgical counters. But Shevchenko's wrestling and grappling have quietly become some of the best in the division. In her last fight, she switched up her game plan, using takedowns and ground control to outwork Grasso. That wasn't just a win, it was a message. She can adapt, she can grind, and she can win ugly if she has to. Fiorot's takedown defense is impressive, over 90% in the UFC, but she hasn't faced a grappler with Shevchenko's timing, setups, and experience. Most of Fiorot's opponents have been strikers or wrestlers without Valentina's blend of skills. If Shevchenko mixes her striking with well-timed takedowns, she can break Fiorot's rhythm, sap her gas tank, and dominate the later rounds. Let's talk styles. Fiorot is at her best at range, using her length, footwork, and side kicks to keep opponents at bay. She averages over 6 significant strikes per minute and loves to control the tempo. But if you force her into clinch exchanges, make her defend takedowns, and drag her into deep waters, the fight changes. 5 rounds is a different beast, and Shevchenko's championship experience is a massive edge. There's also the Montreal factor. UFC 315 marks the organization's return to Montreal after nearly a decade. The city is steeped in MMA history, and while the crowd may lean toward Fiorot because of the French connection, Shevchenko has fought and won in hostile territory before. She's not rattled by the moment. What's at stake? Not just the flyweight belt, but possibly a super fight with strawweight champion Zhang Weili. Dana White has hinted that the winner could face Zhang in a champion versus champion showdown. That's legacy-defining stuff, and both women know it. Let's break down the keys to victory. For Fiorot, she needs to keep the fight at range, use her jab and kicks, and avoid the clinch. She can't let Shevchenko dictate the pace or drag her into grappling exchanges. If Fiorot can maintain her output and stay disciplined, she has a real shot at outpointing the champ. For Shevchenko, it's all about disruption. She needs to make this fight ugly clinch when Fiorot expects to strike. shoot for takedowns when Fiorot is overcommitted, and test the challenger's cardio in the championship rounds. If she can blend her striking and wrestling, she can take Fiorot out of her comfort zone and remind everyone why she's one of the all-time greats. Let's zoom in on what the experts are saying. UFC analyst Michelle Waterson-Gomez thinks it was a bad idea for Fiorot to fuel the fire under Shevchenko before UFC 315. Waterson-Gomez believes Shevchenko's frustration and motivation will give her an edge, saying, "Shevchenko possesses a more comprehensive skill set in MMA along with significant top pressure. If necessary, she will take it to the ground. I also believe she is driven because she perceives Manon as being insincere about her status as a fighter." Coach Eddie Baracco also points to Shevchenko's fight IQ as her biggest weapon. He says Shevchenko's ability to adjust mid-fight to read patterns and adjust to those things is huge. For this one especially, I think being able to mix her striking with her grappling fluidly is something that will give her a well-rounded edge here. On the flip side, Fiorot's team is confident in her ability to keep the fight standing and use her speed and volume to overwhelm the champion. Fiorot's striking is crisp, her movement is top-notch, and she's shown she can go 5 rounds without slowing down. But experience matters. Shevchenko has competed in a dozen consecutive championship fights, joining legends like Georges St-Pierre, Demetrius Johnson, John Jones, and Amanda Nunes. She says, "Every single fight has made me more powerful and more powerful. Comparing myself to a few years ago, now I feel much more technical, much more faster, much more stronger. And this is the best feeling. You really know your body so well that you can do whatever you want. Let's break down the stats." Shevchenko holds several records in the UFC women's flyweight division, including most wins 10, most KO/TKO victories 4, longest winning streak 9, most title fight victories 9, and more. She's absorbed the fewest strikes per minute in division history and landed the most total strikes. Her takedown numbers are off the charts, 47 completed in the UFC. Fiorot, meanwhile, is 7-0 in the UFC, with 5 decision wins and 2 stoppages. She's a former UAE Warriors champion and has consistently advanced through the ranks since joining the UFC in 2021. Her last 2 wins over Namajunas and Blanchfield solidified her as a top contender. Let's talk about the mental game. Fiorot has tried to get under Shevchenko's skin, but the champion isn't biting. Shevchenko says, "If everything would bother me, I'd never achieve what I've achieved. My biggest ability is to block what's happening all around and focus on the main goal." Now, let's get into the X's and O's. How does Shevchenko win? By mixing her striking and grappling, disrupting Fiorot's rhythm, and taking over in the championship rounds. She needs to make Fiorot uncomfortable, force her into clinch exchanges, and test her takedown defense over 5 rounds. How does Fiorot win? By keeping the fight at range, using her speed and volume, and avoiding the ground. She needs to stay disciplined, stick to her game plan, and not get drawn into brawls or clinch battles. Let's look at the predictions. The betting line has shifted slightly, with Fiorot now standing as a -138 favorite, while the champion is viewed as a +118 underdog. Some experts lean toward Fiorot, citing her striking power and output. Others, like Waterson-Gomez and Coach Baracco, believe Shevchenko's experience and versatility will be the difference. AI predictions also highlight the stylistic clash, with Shevchenko's technical striking and versatile grappling-infused skill set against Fiorot's relentless forward pressure and explosive power. The AI suggests Shevchenko could secure a KO/TKO victory, while Fiorot might win by decision if she can maintain her striking volume throughout the fight. Here's my prediction. Early rounds will be tense, with Fiorot pushing the pace and Shevchenko looking for openings. But as the fight progresses, watch for Valentina to mix in her grappling, slow Fiorot's output, and take over in the later rounds. I see Shevchenko winning a hard-fought decision, silencing the doubters and setting up a massive super fight later this year. But what do you think? Are the odds makers right to doubt Shevchenko, or is Fiorot in for a rude awakening? Drop your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more in-depth MMA content, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. We'll be back with a full recap after UFC 315, don't miss it.